Welcome everyone. I thought today would be a great day to swatch out my Athr palettes because it's a rainy, gloomy day and I'm in a grumpy mood and I want to play with some pretty shiny, shimmery things to bump up my mood a little bit. Let's get right into it. Let's go ahead and we'll start swatching in no particular order. I'm just going to grab right off here. I used to own all of the Athr palettes that existed before they rebranded, but I have gotten rid of a few. I gave one to my mom, or two to my mom, I can't remember, one or two to my mom, and then I have a couple more that I still haven't given to anyone but are in my to-go bin for people to grab when they come to my house, or if I go somewhere I can take the bin with me and they can pick from it. But I'm not going to swatch those because they're not technically in my collection. So if you are interested in seeing a palette from Athr that's not here, let me know. I could always borrow the one from my mom or grab those other ones out if you want to see it, and I could do a quick little mini swatch video of those ones if you guys are really sad that I'm missing the other ones. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 palettes to get through. I will put on the screen if they're still available or if they're discontinued. I think most of the ones I have are still available on their website when I last checked. Let's go ahead and get into it. I have the Amethyst Crystal palette, and this is the newer one. They had a Amethyst palette that they revamped, and I think that one, is that the one I gave my mom? No, I have the other Amethyst. So let's do this one, and then we'll do the old Amethyst, and we'll compare the two. So this is the newer Amethyst. This is the one that I believe is still available. And this is the older Amethyst, which I don't believe you can get anymore with the old packaging with the strap and everything. Okay. Let's do this one first. This is the one I used the other day in my video if you watched it. But I really like this one. And I think this one's going to stay in my collection. And then let's take a look at the other Amethyst palette. Quite a different color story. I also like this one, but I feel like this color story I have in my Huda Beauty palette, which has just a larger variety of textures and formulas and just gives me more variety. I think the quality of these Athr shadows is pretty good, but most of their shimmers are satin. Some of them are duochromes, but they're very satiny duochromes. They're not like the chunky, flaky, super shiny duochromes that you get from some of Huda's formulas and things like that. So anyways, I just don't think that I'm going to reach for this. If I'm looking for this color story, I'm going to reach for my Pretty Grunge palette from Huda. So I think this one is going to head out of my collection, but let's compare the two Amethyst palettes together. I'll go outside in a circle and then I'll do the inside. So we'll start with Intentions. If you can hear the rain, it's just because, like I said, it's a gloomy, rainy fall day. Wait, is that, I get confused. The back is like not, you would think like this one would be that one, but it's not, it's this one. So I don't think that last one was Intention. That last one was actually Desire. Okay. I don't know why they put them on there backwards like that. It's annoying. Okay, the next one is Amplify. This is the wet looking shadow I used the other day that was really pretty. And honestly, I almost want to keep the palette just for that color because I have other wet looking shimmers, but this one is so close to my skin tone. It's like perfect for me. All right, next one is Motivation. And then we have Goals. And if you're wondering why I have this on my arm, I have a huge scar on my arm and it's kind of gross. And so I just wanted to cover it up for this video. So that's why that's there. I'm okay, I'm fine. The next one I'm gonna do is Chakra. This one's very satin, almost like a satin matte. And this one has a little more shine to it. So they do have different formulas, but they're just like not different enough for me. I do think I'm going to keep this palette though, because I really do enjoy this color story. And this is a really pretty smoky warm tone brown. It's just pretty all over the lid even. Okay, next color is Power. I love the names of these two. And then we have Transcendent. This one's really pretty. Ooh, I like that a lot. And then we have Intentions. Oh my goodness, my cat's knocking stuff over. This first one is Dreams. Oops, I'm getting my nail in this other one. It barely picks up. Can you see it? I'll give you guys a better overview of this after. It's very similar, but it's got a little bit more glitter particles. Not actual glitter, because these are all plastic free. There's no glitter in these. They're all pearl pigments and mica, but it has that like sparkly effect. So I'm going to say it's got more mica in it. Next is Spirituality. Oh, that looks a lot different on the arm than it does in the pan. In the pan, it looks very purple. On the arm, it looks very rosy. This is why I gotta swatch things out. I like that. And then this one is Goddess. I love a hot pink shimmer. Oh, so pretty. I love it so much. And then finally, the last one in this one is Creativity. That's our newer Athr Amethyst palette. And then let's do the older Amethyst palette on this arm so we can compare them. This one is definitely more cool toned and purple. And this one's more warm toned. I mean, I think the purple kind of makes more sense for Amethyst, but I digress. Let's start out Crown Chakra. Is this one backwards too? Yes, this is Crown Chakra. Oh, I just did that on the wrong finger. Hold on. Crown Chakra. Which is very similar to that one, isn't it? It's a little more brown than red. I'm getting ahead of myself. Next color is Psychic. And I don't believe these are magnetic. I tried to see with my Blend Bunny little magnet tool if they would come out, because then I was like, maybe I could mix some of these around, but I couldn't get them to come out that way. I know they're supposed to come out because they're recyclable, but I couldn't get them out with the simple magnet tool. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. I need to maybe look it up, because if I could switch some of these out, like I really like this color. That is Psychic. The next one is Pisces. Gotta love Pisces. My oldest is a Pisces. It's a really deep purple. This one has a lot more fallout, I will say. I'm noticing. Oh my gosh, so messy already. The next one is Amethyst. The next one is Amethyst. And I actually had like a single of this at one point, like 2 singles of it, because they kept giving them away in boxes, in the Petit Vour boxes back in the day. I don't know if any of you ever subscribed to Petit Vour. Ooh, it's a pretty color though, isn't it? Let's see why it was so popular. Okay, next color is going to be Transformation. Ooh. Yeah, these have a lot more fallout. And I'm not swatching them very well. No, probably because I'm using my left hand. I'm not left-handed. And then we have Protection. Okay, so that's Protection. Also a really pretty color. See what I mean though about the formula being all the same, especially in this older version? These are all exactly the same satins, well, except for the matte, obviously. But all of these are the exact same satins. And I'm just not a satin girl these days. I used to be. Because I used to think I couldn't wear sparkle because the only sparkle I knew was like the drugstore sparkle that was like big glitter particles. And I was like, I don't know. I mean, wear what you love, honestly, that you feel comfortable in. Just for me, like it was too much glitter. But now I love a good sparkle, especially the indie shadows. They're just an elevated version of the glitter I loved when I was in my 20s. I mean, these are indie too, but recommendation, if you don't want to fall out of love with your old eyeshadows, don't try indie brands because they will they will ruin it for you. Last one is centered. Wait, I didn't do this one. Okay, hold on. This is meditation. So that's meditation and this is centered. Oh my gosh, the fallout. This is an older palette too, so I mean that it could just be the binders aren't as good anymore. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like these shadows perform pretty well, even being older palettes. All right, into the middle we go. And in the middle we have Mystic. And then we have Spirituality. And then we have Transcendent and Third Eye. So Transcendent and Third Eye. I just swatched that weird. I don't know why I did that. Okay, but anyways, let's take a look at the two together. They're absolutely not the same. Look at that. That is not the same color story, but I definitely can see some overlap in some shades. But this one just gives a more variety of texture. You've got a topper in this one. You've got some really pretty wet looking shadows, a matte with some shimmer in it, which I'm not a huge fan of those, but it's pretty. And then you got some beautiful buttery mattes, or sorry, that's a satin. And then you got some pretty satins. I just feel like there's more opportunity to be creative with this one than there is with this one. This one, they all feel kind of one tone, like on the eye, it's all gonna end up turning into the same thing. There's not really lightness to this palette, it's a lot darker, and this one has some lightness to it, which for my fair skin I need. I do really like this color, but it's similar enough, I feel like, to this color. Let's swatch out the ones I feel like are similar, but first let's take a look at this palette. This is the Amethyst Crystal Gemstone palette from Athr, the old one. Then let's go ahead, let's swatch out some of the similar ones. This Desire, and what's it called in this one? Centered. I feel like they're very similar. The centered is kind of prettier though, honestly. It's got more of a gray tone to it. We've got Desire, and then we've got Centered. I like that one more. And then the other two that I thought were really similar were, was it Centered? Sorry, Meditation, that was Meditation. You see any other ones we think are similar? I feel like these two might be a little bit similar. So that was Crown Chakra. And then that was Intentions. Again, this is much warmer. I want to compare it also to this more shimmery one, which was, oh, this one is Chakra. So I'll do that one on top of that one. Yeah, they're very similar in color, but this is definitely a matte and this is a satin. And I actually prefer this color in the satin. They're definitely different. Oh my gosh, look at this. Even the band's covered, and I'm only on the first two palettes. So that was the only one that I had the old formula and the new formula of. But the next one, I'm going to show you is the old rose quartz. The new rose quartz I gave to my mother, and she's really been enjoying it, she told me. But I actually preferred the older formula. It was a little more cool toned, which is more of my vibe. And I'm definitely going to keep this one in my collection. The first color we're going to swatch out is, let me check, is this one mixed up? It is. Okay, so the first one is Scorpio. Oh, it's Scorpio season right now too, isn't it? I believe so. Halloween season, that's Scorpio season, isn't it? Ooh, that Scorpio's pretty. Okay, hold on a second. I know I said I wasn't going to do any more comparisons, but wait a second. Is that the same as this one I was sad about in this palette? I need to see this. Hold on. I'm going to draw on the back of my hand. That's Meditation. And that's Scorpio. Oh, they're very similar. Again, the Meditation is still more cool toned, but the Scorpio's pretty too. It's not exactly the same. I'm sure I have that color somewhere else in my collection. I'm not keeping a palette for one color. It's just, I'm not going to reach into it for that color. That's not that great of a color that I'm going to like reach into it for it and think about it. The next one is Aphrodite and then Grounded. So we have Aphrodite and then we have Grounded. And then we have Crystalline. Oh, this one's so freaking gorgeous. Look at that. Then the next one is Rose Quartz. And then we have Sandstone. And then the next one is Stardust. Ooh. Next we have, I think it was Heartstone. Yep, Heartstone. Into the center, we have Divine, which I've obviously used quite a bit. Such a pretty color. And we have Divine. Oh, she's pretty. And then we have Aura. Ooh, that one's a duochrome. Do you see the gold? Red to gold flip there. That's Aura. Ooh, that's a pretty one. And then we have, I don't know if I'm gonna say this right. It looks like a straight, but I don't, a straight? A-S-T-A-R-T-E. Let me know if you know how to say that. And these are a building formula, so they start out a little lighter and you do have to build them, but I like a formula that builds. And then this final one, which also appears to be a pink to blue duochrome that everybody has one of if they do a duochrome. That blue pink flip, and that is Reawakening. Gosh, she's pretty. Such a pretty palette. The new one is just, it's a lot more warm tone, so you won't be able to unfortunately pick this one up. But they do have a rose quartz palette, so don't be confused. The newer rose quartz is smaller. I believe it's only 10 pan, and it's a lot warmer than this one. It has a few crossover shades, but it's a lot more warm tone. I think they probably did that just to be more consumer friendly. You know, people love their warm tones. Better be careful. I'm starting to look like a vampire. A sparkly vampire, not a real vampire. A Pacific Northwest vampire. Let's go with the Summer Solstice palette. Again, this is one that was an older palette, but they have redone this one in their newer packaging without the strap, and I believe it's exactly the same. I don't think they changed any of the colors like they did in the rose quartz and the amethyst. I feel like I have a lot of these colors in other formulas that I prefer. So I'm not sure if this one's going to stay in the collection or not, but let's go ahead and swatch it out. First color we have is Balance. Intrinsic. And then Sister with an E at the end. Don't know what that means. If you know, let me know. Maybe it's just like a different way of spelling it. I don't know. Okay, and then we have Energy, which is very similar. Wait, did I just swatch? Hold on. Girl, you need a nap. I actually just woke up from a nap, so that's not the excuse. I'm having a day. Okay, let's unswatch these and start over. We're gonna let that dry. My skin is so red already. Gotta love having sensitive skin, huh? And then let's try that again. Sister with an E is a matte, not a shimmer. And then this shimmer is Energy. Yes. And then we have Solar Eclipse. And New Moon. Yeah, this is just, I feel like this might just be too warm tone for me these days. Okay, Citrine. It's a pretty satin, not my favorite. Soul. Gosh, Soul and Citrine are not that different. I mean, it's lighter, but dang if they're not the same tone. If you love warm tones, this is a great palette. Just maybe not for me. Amber. It's a pretty copper. Not really very amber, is it? Solstice. Midsummer. And then we have Ruby. Ooh, that Ruby is a pretty color. That is the Athr Summer Solstice palette. It is a really pretty palette if you like warm tones. I really feel like this one is gonna need to find a new home. But it's a pretty palette. Maybe just not for me. And I believe this palette is called Moon something. I'll put it up on the screen. This one doesn't have the name, and it also doesn't have the colors like these ones do. We're just gonna swatch it out here, and yeah, we'll see what we end up deciding about this one. I go back and forth on this one. One, it's one of the newer ones, so it's not as old of a formula, and two, it's obviously colorful and cool tone, but I'm not sure it's the cool tones that I love. I feel like this is like their version of a mermaid palette, which have been really popular lately. Again, I don't know the names, so we're gonna go in here blind and we're just gonna swatch. Ooh, you can definitely tell a difference between the old formula and the new formula when you do them back to back like this. I don't think I could tell just putting it on my face, but when I'm swatching it out like this, these are so much creamier and I can just feel the blendability of them. I don't know if that makes sense. Swatches aren't everything. I've said this, but they are something. Okay. Gosh, I wish I knew the names of these. Maybe I can find the names of them somewhere. If I can, I'll try to toss them in here as I'm putting them up. That is a pretty blue. I don't think I've ever put that on my eyes. That is pretty. That is really, really pretty. Oh, you know what, I might be keeping this palette. I don't know. I didn't even realize I had any pastels. How did I not know that? That's obviously just like willful ignorance right there. Oh, that's pretty. Okay, I have a feeling this palette's gonna be staying. Okay, time to switch. Wow, I was not expecting that, because this was one I was easily gonna be like, see you later. So I definitely think this is gonna be the next one I do a look with. I was gonna do a look with a different one next, but I might actually go straight inside and do a look with this. And I might need to put these on my face. Oh, yes, it's so pretty. How did I not know I had this beautiful formula sitting in my collection, just wasting away? Shame on me for that. Oh my gosh, this is the problem if you just like blindly buy products just because it's from a brand that you love and you don't actually make a connection with it, and you just throw it in your collection and then it never sees the light of day again. Holy balls, that is pretty. Look at that. Okay. Yep. Wow. This one's a little hard panned. I feel like it's the only one I actually have used. I don't think I have any tape out here. Otherwise, I would see if I could get the hard pan off. Let me see if I have some tape. I don't think I do. I think all my tape's inside. My kids run off with my tape. Maybe I can just use my nail. Get a little of that hard pan off. I don't usually have a problem with Athr's hard panning. I probably had oil on my finger or something on my finger the day that I went into this pan. Let's see if we can get a better swatch of that. Which is not the fault of the formula. That's on me. Yeah, this one feels a little more difficult to work with. It's a little stiffer, but it's pretty. And then the final last one here. All right. And this is your close-up. Moonstone? Gosh. Gemstone, moon, gemstone. I'll put it on the screen. It's driving me crazy though, can you tell? For now, this is going to be on the chopping block. I need to put it on my eyes and see what it looks like on my eyes as far as the color story goes, but it definitely just won itself some accolades here. 5 down, huge mess, and 3 to go. So the last of the newer palettes is the smaller one I have, which is the Desert Sunset palette. And this one is pretty warm tone, like the Summer Solstice palette. Here, I'll show you them both next to each other. But I really like this Desert Sunset palette, and I don't feel the same way about this one, and I'm not sure what it is. I think maybe it's that this one is more yellow green tone, and I prefer that. Definitely not the same, but close enough that I don't feel like I need both of them, especially when I've had this one for so long and I rarely ever think about using it, and this one I think about quite a bit. I really love this one. Okay, so this is the Desert Sunset palette, and we're starting with Desert Sand. Oh wait, sorry, they're backwards. I keep forgetting. Sedona. Starting with Sedona. Sorry, there's a little shimmer in there. I tried so hard not to get any in there. That is the pure matte. There's no shimmer in there. I'm just turning into a Twilight vampire, okay? Oh, that's funny. There's a color called Twilight in here. Anyways, Eternal. Oh, I mean, these metallic tones are just... And the formula is so creamy and buttery. So that was Eternal, and then we have Mesquite. I like this brown a lot. Golden Hour. beautiful gold shade. Oh my goodness. Not a huge fan of these triangular pans, I've got to be honest. They're hard to get in. Not so much when you're using a brush, but for fingers, it's not great. And then the next color we have is Twilight. She's pretty. We did not see that from the other palette from the summer solstice. Wait, yes, this is the Desert Sunset. We did not see this from the summer solstice. This kind of shine? No. Gorgeous. Okay, next one is Desert Sand. Then we have this coral called Desert Coral. Look at this color. Look at that. This is Sunset. This is Sunrise. Oh my God. Afterglow. That is the Desert Sunset. Stunning, beautiful palette. Absolutely keeping this one in my collection. It's not going anywhere. We'll do a look in a video with it in one of my Get Ready With Me's coming up. So we got 2 going so far, 3 staying, and 1 chopping block. And we got 2 more to go. And I think both of these other ones are keeps, but let's find out. Let's take a look. Okay, the last 2 palettes are an all shimmer palette and an all matte palette. So I think we're gonna do the all matte first. It's the Joshua Tree palette. This one I actually don't think is for sale anymore, I'm pretty sure. It is a gorgeous palette though, and I have reached into it a lot. It's definitely been loved. Not as much as it probably should have been. I mean, I'm nowhere near pan on anything in here, but I don't think I'm near pan on really anything in my collection except for one of my Huda palettes. My small Huda palette is got a couple pans almost. All right, Athr Beauty, Joshua Tree. Let's get started. First color is Joshua Tree. And then we have Mesquite. See, the old formula definitely has more fallout, but again, I just don't know if it's because they're older and the binders are getting old. Next color is New Moon, which is a beautiful black. And then we have Agave. Oops. Oh my goodness, Amy, you're making a mess. And then we have Rosewood. And Poppy. Ooh, this poppy color is gorgeous. And then we have Pixie Rock. And Tumbleweed. Citrine. Trying to get a little bit of that green in there. Citrine. I'm gonna have to clean this palette up when I'm done here. Wildflower, which is the most beautiful bluish purple. Oh. I can't. And then we have Prickly Pear. And Ember Glow, which is this beautiful apricot color. So that is the All Matte Athr Joshua palette, which now needs cleaning. I don't see myself getting rid of this. I really don't see this going anywhere. It's a beautiful palette and it's staying in my collection for sure. I have to say another thing about these Athr palettes that I love is that they last on the eye all day and they don't stain. You don't get the stains from the colors like you do from a lot of other indie palettes. So I do appreciate that they don't stain. I mean, it's okay. Staining happens, but if I can avoid it and a palette doesn't do it, that's like extra, right? Bonus. This is the Crystal Grid Gemstone palette. It's an all shimmer palette, and I have to say I haven't reached for this palette much. It barely looks used. I think I've really only reached for this duochrome right here. And I think it's just because I don't think about it. I don't think about reaching for an all shimmer palette. So I'm not sure if this one's gonna stay or not. I'm more likely to reach for an all matte palette than I am to reach for an all shimmer palette. So I love an all matte look. But I'm not gonna do an all shimmer look. I could do like one and dones, but I don't feel like these are special enough to be one and dones. Let's see, let's find out together. We're gonna go ahead and start with Moonlight. I think Moonlight's a topper. It's really pretty. Next we have Topaz. And then Manifest. See, these are just satins, which if you're looking for a satin, do you think there's, that, like I said, that one duochrome in here? And then we have Recharge. It's a really pretty slate. It's got a little bit of almost like a blue to it. And then Energy. Then we have Vibration. And this one is pretty. Oh, Vibration is pretty. Look at that. See, they're pretty. They're pretty. Is pretty enough to stay in my collection though? I just don't know. I mean, there's no point in just throwing it away. So I'm not gonna just throw it away, but if I have somebody else who would use this, I might give it to them. So this might end up being one of those situations where I don't generally like to give palettes anything older than a year of old out of my makeup. Okay, so that being said, this is definitely older than that. But if it was like to my sister or a really close friend, I'd probably be okay with it if they were okay with it. But obviously tell them. But I don't know. I think this is why I end up keeping it, because I'm like, it's pretty. I don't want to just throw it in the garbage. It's such a waste to just throw it away. Somebody went and dug these minerals out of the earth, and then someone lovingly created this color story and put, like, I just don't want to just throw it away. Am I a hoarder? Try not to be. Okay, it runs in the family. My grandma was a hoarder, actual hoarder. I have OCD. Hoarding, if you don't know, is a form of OCD. Am I prone to it? Maybe. But I really try hard not to hold on to things just to hold on to them. But I also have such a struggle in just throwing things away. I feel so guilty to throw things away, even though I remind myself constantly, the waste happens the moment you buy it, Amy. That's when you should be thinking about these things, not the moment you're getting rid of them, which I've been working on more. I've been better and not just buying like whole collections just because. But you know, sometimes lessons take more than one time to learn, don't they? Diamond. Amber. Sapphire. That blue's pretty. Tourmaline. I don't know why my voice just cracked. Tourmaline, which is the duochrome. It's that brown to green shift. I don't know that it will pick up because it's not a super strong duochrome. I don't know if it'll pick up on camera, but it is. Got a green flip to it. And then we have Intuition, and then Amethyst. I wonder if it's the same as the Amethyst in the other palette. And Amethyst, I don't think so. It doesn't look the same at all. And that is the Crystal Grid Gemstone palette, the all shimmer palette from Athr Beauty. And while these are all beautiful, I don't think I'm gonna reach for this palette. I really don't. The shimmers are all quite dark. There's a few lighter ones, but for the most part, they're all dark. We've got 1, 2, 3 light ones. And I like a lighter shimmer for the most part, or like a topper. That's kind of my vibe. I think this one's gonna hopefully be able to find a new home. Let's compare though. I want to compare this other amethyst just real quick since I have it sitting right here. Where's it at? I don't think they're the same at all. Yeah, look at that. That's way more warm tone. That's much more neutral or cool tone. It's funny they named them the same thing though, considering it's the same brand, but you know, creative decisions, I suppose. Let me clean this off and then let's talk a sec about these palettes and what I think we're gonna go, where we're gonna go from here. All right, so here's all the palettes. This is the one on the chopping block. This is the unnamed palette that I'm not sure what it's called. These are the 4 I'm keeping. The Desert Sunset, the Amethyst, newer version, the Rose Quartz, the older version, and Joshua Tree. Those are the 4 that I'm keeping, for sure. Those aren't going anywhere. And then these 3, the Crystal Grid, the older version of Amethyst, and the Summer Solstice palette are all gonna hopefully find some new homes within my family or friends, and or be retired in some way, some fashion, because I don't think I am gonna reach for them. And if nothing else, I just don't need them cluttering up my space, and I'm ready to let them go. We're gonna do a look with this week and decide if we're gonna keep this one. And I think I'll still do some looks with these other palettes. I did already do a look with one of these. I think it was the Amethyst one, yeah, the one with the goddess color. So these other 3 I will do looks with as well this week. And yeah, you can be looking forward to that coming out over the next month. I'm a little slow to edit these days. And then the next section of palettes, I think I'm gonna do mainstream, high-end. So like the Huda and Natasha Denona ones that I have, which I think I got a few of those. And then we'll do another set of high-end indie ones that I only have like 1 or 2 from each brand. And hopefully by the end of the year, we'll have these palettes all swatched out like I said I would. Nothing like coming in at the last minute, but you know, we're gonna get it done. We're gonna get it done. We're getting them all swatched out. I can't believe 2026 is just right around the corner. Wow. This year has flown by and stood still at the same time, and it's just been a weird, crazy year. I'm ready for the year to be over, honestly. But let's get this done. Let's come in with a new, fresh look at our palettes in 2026. Thanks for hanging out with me. I hope if anything else provided a little entertainment for you today. I know it provided some entertainment for me on this rainy, cold Pacific Northwest afternoon. I'm gonna go play with that palette, and I'll see you in the next one.